This is Duke University.
Ladies and gentlemen, I ask that you all please rise. Already done that. On behalf of the faculty and staff, I present to you the Fuqua School of Business Cross-Continent Class of 2016 and Weekend Executive Class of 2016. Please be seated. The final test for graduation is if the students can actually find their seats, so well done. It's my extraordinary privilege to be the Dean of the Fuqua School of Business, and I can tell you that every day at the Fuqua School is a great day, but today is an extraordinary day. And I'm so happy to have all of you here to celebrate with us the stars of the show. We're all here for the graduates. Welcome. So earlier you may have been a bit puzzled when I said welcome to the class cross-continent weekend classes of 2016 and thinking, don't I know it's 2017? I do know that. But in fact, all of these students fulfilled their requirements for graduation in December and have been waiting patiently ever since for this great moment. So the time has finally come. And so I want to recognize the people who've achieved this phenomenal accomplishment and thank you for having done something which is amazing. You have turned your lives upside down. You have been under stress, you've worked hard, you've had work changes, you've had family changes, life changes, and you've been stretched, pulled, pushed in every sense of the word. Hopefully we've challenged you in positive ways. Hopefully you've developed, hopefully you've transformed, hopefully you had some fun along the way. And hopefully you're just a little bit sad that you're done with this amazing accomplishment. And so congratulations to all of you for having done something completely amazing. Now I'd like to thank another group which I'm quite certain is not sad at all that this has come to an end, which is all the friends and family who are here with us today and those that can't join us that made this day possible for all the graduates. We so appreciate everything that you've done to make this possible for the graduates, and we so appreciate that you can be here with us today to have this wonderful celebration. So thank you to all the people who are with us today. I'd also like to thank the people who were a part of this journey with the students, which is to say, the amazing faculty and staff who guided you during this journey, who co-created the experience with you, and who poured their hearts and soul into making sure that you had the very best experience. So thank you to the faculty and staff. And finally, I'd like to recognize the class representatives who put in extra effort on behalf of your classmates in order to make sure that we ran things smoothly, that you got input from your classmates around what it is that we need to do to make sure that we maximize the potential of the experience. And so if I could ask the class reps to please stand so we can acknowledge you. And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce John Gallagher, the Associate Dean for Executive MBA Programs, who will facilitate the next portion of the ceremony.
Thank you, Bill. Good morning. It is absolutely wonderful to be here with you and be a part of this ceremony today. The cross-continent and weekend executive classes have spent many, many hours under the tutelage of the Fuqua faculty. And so now to begin our celebration, it gives me great pleasure to introduce you to Alexander Jerome Idazik, who is going to handle the presentation of the Excellence in Teaching Awards on behalf of the Cross-Continent class of 2016.
I have the honor today of presenting 2 faculty members with the Excellence in Teaching Award. But before I do that, on behalf of our class, the CC class of 2016, I want to thank all our professors for their time, commitment, energy, and resources that they put in over the last year and a half. A lot went into it, and we all just want to thank you for that. Consistency and caring are 2 words that you hear a lot, but you don't see a lot in our society. And that's quite simply because words are easy. Saying something doesn't mean much. Following through is what counts. Finding someone following through on time, consistency, caring is very hard, but when you do, you have to recognize this person. Dr. Jeremy Petrenka is exactly this type of individual. Officially, he was in charge of teaching us macroeconomic theory, but it went way beyond this. I could get up here all day and give a bunch of examples of his characteristics and actions and all that, but I think the best example of this is time. Time's the most important gift that we're given as human beings, and giving it to someone else is truly selfless. Dr. Petrenka gave his time in class, outside of class, whenever we had a question on discussions, on topics, on anything, even during residencies when our schedules, as we all know, were packed, he made time for us. And I think that stands out. Beyond and above this, though, we're better as students, and I think because we've spent so much time with him as people, we're most importantly better as people as well. I know I am for sure, and on behalf of the CC class of 2016, it's my honor to give this award to Dr. Jeremy Petrenka.
So there's a trick to these things, that when you win an award, you just say, you're my favorite class ever, the sky's the limit, your family and friends should be proud, have a good night. They're happy because I'm done within a minute or less. You're happy because I said you're the best. I can't do that this year because I've taught both of you. and that has proven I've actually had to think about this, which is good. EMBA, don't tell the daytime students. EMBA means the most to me consistently. And by the way, if I give this speech to daytime, that means the most to me, so just warn you in advance. But it actually, I think of you both as family. And I actually had to unpack what it was because you feel different to me. So cross-continent, I actually had to stop and say, okay, what is it? And the word that kept jumping out was acceptance, and it's different. It's not the acceptance that you like them even though they're different. It's you like them because they're different. There's something about CC. It's truly one of the most special experiences I've been a part of in my professional life. And you know what I'm talking about. It's hard to describe to everyone here. Just the love you show each other, the willingness to listen, the desire to deeply understand each other and to deeply become more because of those differences and everything we've been through. I can't thank you enough for accepting me into that family. I can't thank you enough for this award. Truly, it has been an honor teaching you, so thank you.
So before getting into this next person real quick, I think we need to pause and just reflect on what this award really means. This is not the Very Good Teacher Award or the Very Great Teacher Award. This is the Excellence in Teaching Award. And so the winners of this award, if you look around, it's very fitting that we're in this building, right? The banners that hang from the rafters are not for very good teams. This banner right here, for most wins of all times, is not for a very good coach. It's for an excellent coach. It's for excellent teams. And that's exactly what you get when you come to Duke. And that's what we wanted. We didn't come here for a good education or a great education. We came for the best because we knew we'd learn from the best and in turn that we'd become the best ourselves. This next one, Dr. Charles Bamford, is a great example of this. Anyone who took his strategy implementation course knows how passionate he was and that you can't have excellence without passion. His mannerisms, his gestures in the classroom, more importantly, the way he pushed us constantly. I think a perfect example of this would be our online postings every other week. In his class, we had to work in teams. And there were a lot of times where we would put up a post and it'd be very good. And he'd give us feedback and say, this is a very good post. But he always challenged us to a little bit better and push a little bit further. And it's almost as if he was saying, you know, I can't force you to want something more than I do. But if you push past what you think is very good or great, you'll be surprised at what you can achieve. I think that defines excellence. I think that's a great example of it. So on behalf of the CC class of 2016, this next Excellence in Teaching Award goes to Dr. Charles Bamford.
So I get to follow Jeremy. As we were heading in here, Jeremy informed me that I have to give a speech. I was planning to stand up here, do the Queen's wave, say thank you, and sit back down. Unfortunately, that was not going to be the case. Folks, getting this award from y'all means everything. I was just tickled pink to do it. At the end of every one of my classes, my little grandson always asks me, he goes, so Grandpa, how was that class? And I'm always like, Cy, I have no idea. I had a blast. I have no idea how they felt about it. I just love this strategy stuff. You guys probably know that. I hope to stay in touch with you all. I hope you get a chance to really use this stuff. And folks, thank you so much. I had a blast. Thank you.
Congratulations, Jeremy and Chuck. Now I'd like to introduce Lily Holly Zhang, who will make the presentation for the Excellence in Teaching Awards on behalf of the Weekend Executive Class of 2016. Holly?
Good morning. Now, you all know that we at the WIMBA class like to debate a little bit with the CC class on a few things. One in particular is who is the cooler one. But now today, we cannot agree more with the deep gratitude that Alex has just expressed to all our professors and faculty members. They are truly all amazing. So let's give another bigger round of applause to this amazing group. Now, if you would allow me to take you back exactly 712 days. It was a morning very much like this. Dew was on the grass. We walked across the lush green lawn of the site of Science Drive, and we were burned with excitement of all the cool new terms we were about to pick up or the big questions we'll learn to answer. And then we walk into this professor's classroom, and on the screen, there was nothing but one quote. It reads, to develop a perfect mind, learn, study the science of art, learn, study the arts of science, learn how to see, and realize that everything connects to everything else. Now, for a moment in there, we weren't sure we were in the right class, but we were, and it was microeconomics. 3 months later, this ingenious professor has indeed taught us how to address big questions like which healthcare market will result in the biggest bang of the buck if a new government subsidy is enacted, as well as cool terms like debt weight losses, and my personal favorite, third-degree price discrimination. Now, above all these, he has sketched out the red thread connection in each element of our next 13-month study. Microeconomics, strategy, statistics, managerial accounting, strategy implementation. But then, it's in the last 20 minutes of his last class, he placed a challenge for us that we have all carried ever since through this day. He has challenged us to go beyond trying harder, study longer, researching more to get the most out of this program, but to remember to sit with each other simply as friends, and to fortify ourselves with a long-lasting fellowship that each of us have developed in the past 19 months through this journey. And in every step, he would, as indeed he has, journeyed along with us. So it is my great pleasure to give you, undebatably, ever so truthfully, and again, Jeremy Petrenka.
So her memory is better than mine, so I need to be careful what I tell her in the future. Best class ever, sky's the limit, family and friends should be proud, good night. I'm actually very happy that you brought up the last 20 minutes of the last class. Same idea when I was thinking, what is it about your class? Because again, it feels like family, it feels like home. And the word that popped up actually faster than almost anyone before, it was loyalty. Your class, and I've seen you, since coming out of my class and since then, you've supported each other, not just professionally, which is nice, personally. There have been challenges you've gone through. There have been, all of you in the MBA programs know how difficult this is. You've supported each other in a way that I've never seen before. It's been wonderful for me to see, and it truly does speak to why, again, this award from you means so much. The way you support each other, who you are as people, it really is astounding. And with that, I now say to everyone in the room, sincerely, you're the best classes I've ever taught. I truly, truly believe that the sky's the limit for all of you. For your friends and family, you think you know how hard they've been working. You don't know a quarter of it. It's amazing what they've done. You should be amazingly proud. Good night.
Now, about that question of government subsidy and healthcare market, just by show of hand, how many of you remember the answer? Excellent. So to tap into the stories behind that question, 28 of us elected to dip deeper into this healthcare market in the very last term. Now, some of us, like the doctors and physicians in our group, has definitely done the research and examined the extraordinary credentials and a long list of publications and presentations of this professor in our class, which, by the way, spanned over 5.5 pages, single-spaced. Then others, like me, simply trust the nice smile on his online bio that seems to say, I got the answers. He did get the answers, and there were many, yet never one was spoon-fed to us. In fact, the phrase he used the most in our class was, what if? Laurie Donovan once said, it doesn't work. Try to urge people to think outside the box without giving them tools to climb out. This professor had built a toolbox for us, yet he had left just enough space for us to climb outside the box. It is truly a time for us to have some out-of-the-box thinking right now. Observed directly during our class was our November election and the unpredictability of what healthcare will look like in our future. We signed up looking for answers. We graduate today with the recognition that there is no single uniform answer that will address all our needs. But we do have is a profound clarity of who we are, what we have to work with, why we are here, and how the future is calling us to be. So my dear friends, it's my great honor to present this second teacher award to Dr. David Ridley.
This is such a treat, thank you. Whereas my friend Jeremy waited 5 minutes between these, it's actually been a decade for me. Thank you. Thank you, Courtney Marie. But every 10 years or so, a group comes along that's so smart, so good looking, with excellent taste or peculiar taste, that we have just some amazing discussions. It was such a treat to be in the room with you. We had great discussions. I hope we'll have more discussions going forward. I really look forward to staying in touch. Thank you.
Congratulations, Jeremy and David. I would like to present Martha Bonilla from the Cross-Continent class of 2016 and Michael James Dennis from the Weekend Executive class of 2016. These students will present Dean Boulding with a consolidated class gift on behalf of both cohorts.
Hello, everyone. Before I start, I'd like to recognize our class representative, Matt Zeller. Matt wanted me to make sure that the diversity of our class was represented in this ceremony, so he asked me to take his place today. But I'd like you all to know that he was the leader of our CC class gift team, and that the words I'm about to read were written in collaboration with him. So thank you, Matt. Nearing the end of our grad school journey, we were asked to bond together and give a contribution back to the program in the form of a class gift. We learned that compared to its peer schools, Fuqua is able to fund far less of its programming through the endowment and therefore relies on the annual fund to provide financial support to students, staff, and courses. This money allows the school to make improvements to be more competitive and make sure the MBA degree retains its value in the future. With this realization, both of our classes, the Weekend Executive and the Cross-Continent, we started to give. Our year gave in record numbers, with 99% of both the Cross-Continent and Weekend Executive students participating. I believe this participation rate is a representation of our gratitude and our commitment with the sustainability of the program. For me, an international student born and raised outside of the United States, having the opportunity to study at a top business school while still living in my home country is an overwhelmingly powerful and fulfilling experience. Exploring multiple countries with classmates serving as our own cultural translators and then returning home allows one to immediately notice the differences in the way we run businesses and the similarities in our values. The experience is a privilege that few can afford, and that also conveys a huge responsibility with our communities and with the world. Thanks to Fuqua, we are better team players, we are more prepared to make decisions with integrity, and we have a better understanding of the nuances of running a business across the world. The Fuqua experience and fellow classmates are blessings for which I am forever grateful. Today, when we start officially our journey as alumni, it is my only hope that my classmates and I are not the last ones to receive this blessing. We expect more graduates to come and join us as alumni and part of what we proudly and warmly call Team Fuqua. And so we present this class gift as a token of appreciation and a contribution to the education of those future fellow Fuquans. So on behalf of the Cross-Continent and Weekend Executive Program classes of 2016, I would like to present this check of $27,322 to the Fuqua School of Business.
Thank you for this really big check. It's amazing. But thank you even more for the fact that you had such an incredible rate of participation among both of your groups. And it's an example of really selfless leadership. I'm so proud that you are willing to invest in the people that will follow you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thanks to both classes for their tremendous financial contributions to the Fuqua School of Business. I would now like to introduce the class speaker for the Cross-Continent class of 2016, Brian William Ban.
Distinguished guests, faculty, colleagues, friends, and family, thank you for joining us to celebrate this momentous occasion at Duke University today. And a special thank you to those of you who traveled across the globe from places in Europe, Asia, Africa, and South America. It is truly an honor to be here today, speaking on behalf of the Fuqua School of Business Cross-Continent MBA class of 2016. Our class has embarked upon an amazing journey over the past 24 months, overcoming the challenges of full-time employment concurrent with the demanding academic schedule and full-time global travel. This experience undoubtedly taught us an incredible amount about ourselves, transformed us in a constructive manner, and equipped us with the tools required to effect global change as leaders of consequence in tomorrow's world. Looking back and reflecting upon this educational experience, a few questions come to mind. First, what did we learn during our time at Fuqua? Academically, we learned accounting on day one in a very low stress and relaxed classroom environment, how to market black toilet paper, run decision model spreadsheets until our laptops crashed, manage brewery supply chains, calculate the beta standard deviation of everything, and of course, how to apply the Gert-Hofstede cultural dimensions to all aspects of international business. Notwithstanding the large amount of content we absorbed over that time, our education went way beyond academic and classroom learning. We learned as much, if not more, from our classmates' broad cultural backgrounds and work experience. Overall, we learned that global change and innovation require a diverse team to inspire critical thinking, and that culturally aware perspectives empower us to become effective and influential leaders. Second, and more important than asking what we learned, we ask how this education transformed us. Certainly, many of us were caught off guard at how much this experience at Duke University would change us in such a positive way, as we developed relationships with classmates from across the world, learning about their cultures, histories, families, religions, hopes, and dreams. Through these new relationships and the candid sharing of personal experiences, pains, joys, failures, and accomplishments, we gain incredible insight and self-awareness into cultural understanding when applied through a personal and professional lens. This enables us with the tools required to understand, empathize, and respect people of all backgrounds, origins, genders, colors, and faiths, as we transformed into more effective teammates, employees, managers, and leaders in an ever-evolving global business environment. Lastly, we ask, how are we going to capitalize upon this transformation to become visionaries and leaders of consequence in tomorrow's world? Already, our newfound insights and perspectives have spread throughout our current organizations, across borders, and into new cultures. We are becoming future CEOs, company founders, board members, government officials, managers, and team members. We have attained an enlightened viewpoint of a very diverse world, which we will approach as selfless leaders who act with humility and poise. We are Team Fuqua, a world-renowned and elite assemblage of successful professionals. We will uphold the Fuqua principles of supportive ambition, authentic engagement, and collective diversity for years to come as alumni who act, and I quote, with competence, character, and purpose, who choose to create rather than extract value. Woodrow Wilson, the 28th President of the United States, articulated this responsibility well while addressing Swarthmore College in 1913 when he stated, "You're not here merely to make a living. You are here to enable the world to live more amply, with greater vision, with a finer spirit of hope and achievement. You are here to enrich the world, and you impoverish yourself if you forget that errand." So classmates, colleagues, friends, let us never forget that this remarkable journey we embarked upon over the past 24 months was neither done in vain nor for our own personal advancement. Together we did it for the betterment of society, to promote economic equality, to support and sustain inclusive institutions, and to effect global change through innovation, collaboration, and understanding. Congratulations, Cross Continent Class 2016. Thank you, and Godspeed.
Thank you, Brian. Now I would like to introduce the class speaker for the Weekend Executive Class of 2016, Jason Elliott Singer.
Morning. Just like in the lectures, I'm going to get started promptly. I'm going to jump right in. I'd like to take these few moments to reflect back on our journey. When we started, we were a bunch of individuals. We all had aspirations to earn an MBA from a top-notch institution. We all chose Duke, and Duke luckily chose us. After we got accepted into the prestigious Fuqua School of Business, we were so excited. We told our friends and families. We bought lots of Duke gear, holding our heads high. We arrived at the beginning of term one, and we started with some team building, had some social outings, and began to get to know each other. We're still riding this euphoric wave. Then term two started, and the honeymoon was over. We had statistics, economics, and financial accounting. But financial accounting was taught by the legendary and feared Catherine Schipper. Catherine wanted us to learn. Her intentions were pure, but her methods were brutally strict. Jeremy, who also taught us in term two, could see our despair. And he tried to ease our woes by joking with us, and I said, and he said, and I quote, with jazz hands and all, "Financial accounting is so easy. Tell Catherine all you need to know is profit equals revenue minus cost." We laughed. But as soon as he said it, he got very nervous. And he looked over his shoulder as if Catherine was going to jump out like a spider monkey for such blasphemy. He was so scared that all of his hair fell out. And it doesn't look like it's coming back. It's very shiny, though. Now, I'd love to roast all of our incredible professors and staff. I could do this all day. But I want to get back to our journey. At this point, I realized this was going to be a challenging yet rewarding journey. A journey where we learned critical business skills that will provide for us long after the program. A journey in which we did not stop in our personal and professional lives. A journey where we came together and bonded into this Fuqua family. During this journey, we spent 27 weekends at Duke, traveling from 20 different states, including Puerto Rico. There were countless cases, exams, assignments, team meetings, and late evenings. 28 of us got new jobs, while 15 were promoted from within. There were 5 engagements and 5 weddings. We had 24 Wimba babies, plus a bonus 2 from professors, Brian and David. And surprise, we have some more on the way, which will keep Mel busy knitting away. We had epic basketball, soccer, ping pong, and poker games, ski trip, beach trip, gate trip to South Africa and Brazil, an ugly sweater party, a karaoke night, and a talent show with the cross continents. There were Durham Bulls game, the football tailgate, and a basketball campout so we could be crazy in Cameron. We learned important skills like how to run a regression analysis and build a tornado chart, as well as how to do the whip and nay-nay. You guys are on point. We learned that premium snacks fueled the mind and that shooters' libations would ease it. We also discovered the hidden talents of many classmates, such as Juan's enchanting guitar abilities, and Vivek's ability to rap Ice Ice Baby, with Ryan Tubbs cutting the rug like a 90s hip-hop dancer. This is just a glimpse of our journey and the memories we made, and it's not surprising with so many exceptional classmates. Each one of you has unique strengths, capabilities, and talents. And it's been an honor to be part of such an extraordinary cohort. But there's one individual that has inspired me beyond all others. He's extremely brilliant, creative, and a flawless speaker. But it's not just Jason Byers' performance in the classroom that's impressive, but it's his resilient nature and resolve to overcome adversity that truly inspires. At a basketball game right here in Cameron, my family met up with Jason and Jess at halftime, and as we walked away, my son asked me, "Why is Jason in that chair?" I didn't anticipate the question, but I instantly responded, "Because he's a hero." I didn't know Jason before the program, but I came to know he was a studly lacrosse player, playing at Bates College in the fearless position of goalie. And that he had aspirations to earn his MBA before his courageous acts. I had the privilege to work with Jason, and he showed me that no setback or adversity was going to stop him from pursuing his MBA. Jason rose to every challenge in and outside the classroom, always with a positive attitude and his trademark sarcastic sense of humor. Jason, I truly admire your perseverance, determination, and strength. You are a hero every day. And nothing can stop your ambition, not even a swarm of accounting spider monkeys. In closing, I've learned from all my classmates and professors and this program, and the lesson I will take away that can't be learned from a textbook is that if you have the vision, determination, and drive, no dream is unattainable. Life's challenges don't prevent nor define what dreams you can achieve. So as we go our separate ways, always remember, there are no limits. There is no ceiling. There is no roof. Cast your fear aside and free your dreams. Reach for the stars and remember who you are. You're a Duke MBA. Thank you.
Brian and Jason, thank you so much for capturing the essence of what it means to be a part of Team Fuqua and what it is we can achieve together. Fantastic, thank you. So I now have the great privilege and pleasure of introducing our commencement speaker, Kathy Engelbert. Kathy is the CEO of Deloitte, but let me explain why we chose Kathy as a graduation speaker and why that's such a difficult choice to make and such a high bar to meet, which is to say that when we have a graduation speaker, we want someone who has accomplishment, because we want you to see someone where you say, I want to get to where that person has gotten to. I can see what it means to have real accomplishment in life. We want someone who, in addition to the accomplishment, not just the accolades that they've achieved along the way, but someone who has gotten wisdom out of those experiences. Because we want someone who can share the benefit of what they've learned as you take the next steps in your life journey. And perhaps more importantly, as we have someone who shares their wisdom, we want someone who has done things the right way, who embodies, embraces the values of Team Fuqua, which are so important to us. And finally, it's a nice thing to have if that graduation speaker is connected to the Fuqua community. So let me address these things in turn. In reverse order, starting, there's no question that of all the corporate partnerships that we have, Deloitte is at the top in terms of sending us students, hiring students, and being an active part of our community in a very, very meaningful way. Kathy personally has gotten engaged with the Fuqua Coach K Center of Leadership and Ethics, and I've benefited from her wisdom multiple times as she's participated in those events, which is fantastic. So she is connected to Duke, which we love. But even if she wasn't connected to Duke, she checks all those other boxes. She obviously has risen to the position of CEO of Deloitte, one of the most important companies worldwide. And she is routinely acknowledged as one of the most powerful women in the world by Fortune. And I have to say that she does not abuse that power in any way. So she exercises that power with wisdom and grace. And she has the wisdom that we need to hear, because she does embrace the values that are so important in terms of thinking about how will we fill the void of leadership that we experience to such a degree in the world today? How will we create the kinds of organizations that allow people to bring their authentic selves into the workplace, that allow us to get the best out of everyone, that allow us to make sure everyone who wants that opportunity gets to be in the game? And Kathy has definitely made her mark in all those areas. She is, in my view, a shining example of what it means to be a leader of consequence. So Kathy, they're all yours.
Thank you so much, Dean Bolden, for that very warm welcome. And Brian and Jason, you are a tough act to follow, for sure. But I just want to acknowledge the distinguished faculty here, graduates, family members, and friends. I am absolutely honored to be here today on this special day. Graduates, I know you'll always remember today, May 13th, 2017, as the day you graduated from business school, and with it, everything you've come to love about Fuqua. I'm told climbing the wall at Triangle Training, the snacks, in quotes, provided in between classes. Some of you might have solely lived on the chocolate-covered espresso beans in Durham, and the joint Duke basketball experience during the elective term. So as much as today is your day, it also belongs to your family and friends. Moms and dads, I can only imagine the pride you're feeling. I've got a daughter who's a sophomore at Villanova and a son in high school, and I am looking forward to joining you on the other side of their education. So today is a big day, and one thing I have learned is that the biggest stuff happens in life's smallest moments. For me, one of the biggest moments was the day I got the phone call inviting me to become the CEO of Deloitte. But I never aspired to that. That big moment was the result of thousands of other everyday moments in my career where I chose to lead, to raise my hand, to take a risk, step outside my comfort zone and stretch myself. And the same is true for all of you sitting here today. It's a big moment. And it happened because of the choices you made in very ordinary moments. The choice to spend that extra hour at the end of a long day at the library. The choice to be up before dark and get in a run so your mind would be clear for the day. And a million other choices. Which makes me think of the Blue Devils. It was fascinating to learn how the Blue Devils came to be. For family and friends who may not know, it was the nickname of a French military unit famous for their blue uniforms and berets, and their ability to operate in any environment, under any conditions, against any foe. That adaptability is where they got their name. And like the first Blue Devils, that adaptability and willingness to take advantage of whatever the moment brings you is what got you here today in this milestone moment. And I believe being able to adapt is what will make you successful. You'll need it because I guarantee life will throw you some curveballs. And how you react in those moments will define you. One of the biggest curveballs you can imagine came my way when I was 22 years old, so younger than most of you. I had just started my career with Deloitte. That year, my dad passed away unexpectedly. We were incredibly close. he had a significant role in shaping me into the leader I am today. We shared many passions, including basketball. He was an accomplished basketball player for St. Joseph's University and was actually drafted by the Detroit Pistons. But my father went on to work, including 3 jobs at one time. And although my mom never went to college, she also worked and still does today at the age of 80. Together, they sent 8 kids through college. I'll never forget when I heard the news that he had died. It was 2 weeks before I would sit for the CPA exam. At that point, my mom was widowed at an age younger than I am today. And I was the oldest of 4 kids still at home. My youngest brother was 12. So I faced a lot in those days. I didn't do it all perfectly. I did choose to go on and sit for the CPA exam and got through it. I think it was my dad's encouragement for us to be leaders, not by word, but by action, that made it so natural for me to step in and lead my family in his absence. It's clear to me now that I responded in that situation. That defined me as a leader. I was quite shy back then, but I knew I had to step up and lead. And it wasn't just the big moments. It was all the ordinary moments of life in the months and years that followed, and how I chose to continue to show up for those with my mom, with my brothers and sisters, with my husband and 2 kids, and in my career as well. Today, I'd like to share with you 4 things I've picked up along the way to help you make the most of the big stuff that happens in everyday moments. And this should be easy to remember because it's going to spell out a word that's important to you, and you'll figure it out quite quickly. First is D, and D is daily discipline. It is true that life's big stuff happens in small moments. Then it must be true that what you choose to do every day is what makes the difference. I once read that how we spend our days is how we spend our lives. This is absolutely my experience. I became a leader not through some dramatic notion of being elevated, but by choosing to behave like a leader day in and day out, to lead openly and fairly, no matter what my official title or box was. A leader is simply someone who leads. So whatever is most important to you, work on it every day. Former Navy SEAL Admiral Bill McRaven, who was born about an hour from here in Pinehurst, just published a book with his 10 lessons he learned from being a Navy SEAL. And the #1 lesson is, if you want to change the world, start by making your bed. Now, I know you're all thinking, really? I have to make my bed? But in business, this translates to if you do the small things first and get them right, along the way, you'll be able to accomplish the big things, and those big things will be easier. And no matter what kind of day you have, and there will be really tough days, you will come home to a bed that's made. The second thing I want to leave you with is U, unpredictability, the letter U. Class of 2017, as I stand up here today, I see something you and I have in common. We all have a lifetime supply of unpredictability. When I was where you are, I could have never predicted the business innovations we've seen or what direction my career would go. And I'll let you in on a secret. That unpredictability turns out to be a pretty normal thing in your career. And it's only growing. You're entering a business environment, and many of you are even in it today, where change is the only constant and disruption is the norm. That might make you anxious, but it's also where opportunity lies. It's where the chance to make a real, meaningful impact is. You all see it, vast improvements in computing power, globalization of markets and information, massive leaps in innovation, artificial intelligence, blockchain, social, mobile, all igniting what I call the fusion revolution, the coming together of our physical, digital, and biological worlds. It's not only impacting how companies operate, but what it means to be a professional, the how and where of the work of the future. Many call it the future of work. I call it the work of the future because the future of work sounds like there might not be any. But the work of the future sounds very optimistic, like we can shape it, and I know you will. When I started in professional services in the 1980s, there were two tools of the trade, a pencil and a simple calculator. There were no fax machines, if you even remember those. There were no email, laptops, no Excel, no text, no smartphones or tablets. And now we can't imagine life without our smartphones, our spreadsheets, or more importantly, our social media accounts. Today, we have artificial intelligence doing tasks that I did as a staff accountant, reviewing contracts, documents. We're using drones and augmented and virtual reality in business and robotics process automation. A process that took days now takes hours or even minutes. Much can be done remotely. You're joining business, though, I think, at such an exciting and interesting time. The unpredictability ahead of us means you can see things in a new way and create opportunities no one could have thought of before you. So, D for daily discipline, U for unpredictability. What's the next letter? K, and that's not Coach K, although we're sitting here on Coach K court. It's K for keep learning. Just as it was here at Fuqua, you didn't do your best if you only showed up for one class and crammed the night before. Well, maybe for some of you, that was how you did your best. But in life, if you want to do well on the test of life, that comes in life's biggest moments, you have to keep learning, relentlessly be curious, to be ready for whatever the future holds. Let me give you a piece of advice that may sound counterintuitive at a commencement. Never graduate. Now, I know parents, you want the tuition checks to stop, but there's never a point in time where you should stop learning, because innovation and disruption today, in the future, will be a series of software upgrades in your mind, and every one of us will be novices that are new at something. I find that every day, even though I've been in business 31 years. So we'll need you. We'll need new professional skills. 5 years ago, no one was talking about hiring data scientists, and now we can't find enough of them. Few had chief data officers, digital officers, chief customer experience officers, chief information security officers, and so on. So the job you may eventually get may not exist today. So if you want to be able to get it, always stay curious, ask questions, raise your hand, push yourself, keep learning, and never graduate. And the final letter, E. Jason talked a little bit about this. Enjoy the journey. I can tell you it's not always going to be easy. Life doesn't go in a straight line, and things won't be perfect. And you know what? That's okay. Don't let one setback define you. I want to never forget one of my biggest career shifts when I was a young partner and went into our capital markets group to work with these gurus on derivatives and securitizations, hedging, complex structures, and valuations. I'm sure some of the things you learned while you were here. And at first, it was hard to find my footing. For 6 weeks, I dreaded going to work. It's the only time in 30 years that I didn't like my job. And I remember saying to myself, I've made a big mistake by making this shift in my career. But I persevered, and before long, you know what happened? I was in demand at every client. I had the technical skills, and on top of that, I had the ability to make the complex sound simple. And that's what this exponentially changing world that you're already in and joining needs from you. That role for me turned out to be a platform where I built a broad network, but most importantly, that role was where I found the leader in my firm who ultimately sponsored me to become the CEO. The moral of that story is from moment to moment, you never know how the big picture is going to turn out. In my experience, if you keep the faith and keep at it, you can actually enjoy the journey, because it's the journey overall that defines you, not any single part of it. So there you have it. Everything you needed to know about being a great leader in a world moving at an exponential pace can be spelled out in the name of this university. Daily discipline, D, unpredictability, U, keep learning and never graduate, K, and enjoy the journey. So keep living those Duke values. Let that Blue Devil adaptability be your differentiator. That's something special in those that graduated before you, with you, and who will come after you. I know that the Blue Devils here today will go far. Thinking back to those first Blue Devils, they were smart, but they were more than that. The world cares not just about your IQ. It cares about your passion quotient and your creativity and curiosity quotient. I would add empathy, too. You look today at leaders, and empathy is such an important part of a leader. So today, we celebrate your passion, your curiosity, your intelligence, and where your empathy has gotten you. I Googled a bit on Duke Fuqua and saw the 4 pillars of rethinking the boundaries of business school. There were 2 that I'd like to make sure you remember on this day, and Jason and Brian already talked about them. Will you be a leader of consequence? And what will you change? What will be your things to change the world? So do yourself a favor right now. Stop, breathe, look around at your family and friends. Take this all in. Take it all in, because this is a big day. And if you're going to pay attention to the small things every day, embrace uncertainty, keep learning, enjoy the journey, then I'm absolutely confident that you will be ready and that your small moments will add up to the big stuff in life you want to achieve. And remember to take care of yourself along the way. I'd like to wish the moms out there happy Mother's Day, and thank you. Good luck to you all, and let's go Duke.
Thank you so much, Kathy. It comes as no surprise to me that Kathy would shine as we celebrate this graduation on Coach K court here. Small story about Kathy. When she went to college, she was a walk-on basketball player, Division I basketball player. The coach told her later, I was going to cut you. Somehow she didn't. By her 4th year, she was the captain and point guard of the team, leading that team to probably its most successful season in its entire history, and I think propelled that coach onto a Hall of Fame career elsewhere. So Kathy, you're a star. I would like to formally acknowledge you by giving you a gift on behalf of the entire community, and to again say you do demonstrate to us what it means to be a leader of consequence. So I'm now going to turn things back over to John Gallagher.
At this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the Fuqua Scholars from the cross-continent class of 2016 and the weekend executive class of 2016. Throughout the course of this program, each of these students has worked hard in a very challenging academic environment. The successful completion of the MBA is an outstanding accomplishment. Each member of this class has balanced this program with a full-time position and a personal and family life. Today, we want to honor those who have not only completed the cross-continent and weekend executive MBA programs, but have distinguished themselves in their academic program. Fuqua Scholars are those students who graduate in the top 10% of their class. As we consider the quality of all of the members of these classes, we can also reflect on the outstanding achievement of being designated a Fuqua Scholar. I will read the names of the Fuqua Scholars alphabetically, and I would ask that as I read each name, that person stands in his or her place. I would also ask the audience to please wait until we've read all of the names before indicating your support and congratulations. That'll help us make sure that all the names can be heard. The Cross-Continent MBA Class of 2016 Fuqua Scholars are Kristen Elizabeth Allison, David Errol Childers, Catherine Elizabeth Fletcher, Pell Tanner George, Benjamin Kyle Heber, Abhishek Mathur, Miguel Rivera, Douglas Lane Rodermond, Ahmad Mohammed Samor, Michelle Amanda Torsky, Henry Matthew Young, and Andrew Robert Ziller. Please join me in congratulating the Cross-Continent Fuqua Scholars. Please be seated. Now I would like to introduce the Weekend Executive MBA class of 2016 Fuqua Scholars. They are Christopher Miller-Bugg, Parthav Bakim Desai, John Anthony Fioravante, Deepak Gampat Karawandi, Michael Eric Lipkin, James J. Pavo, Parajat Singh, Robert Theodore Tauchin, and Lily Hong Zhang. Congratulations. Please be seated. Now it's time to individually recognize each of our graduates. Today, we ask each of our graduates to come forward to be recognized and congratulated by Bill Bolding, Kathy Engelbert, Mohan Venkatacham, myself, and the entire assembly gathered here today. At this time, I would like to ask Mary Gray Jacobson, Assistant Director and Program Manager for the Cross-Continent Class of 2016, to come forward and read the names of the Cross-Continent 2016 graduates. We ask the graduates to file up to the stage on your right, and as your name is called, please accept your scroll and our congratulations. Now, a moment ago, I asked that you please refrain from showing your support for the Fuqua Scholars until all the names were read. And I want to point out this is a very different part of the ceremony. This is a very special moment, and I encourage you and all of you to cheer for our graduates and show your joy and your support.
Alexander Jerome Idazek. Brian William Ban. Marta Isabel Bonina de la Espriella. Rajesh Vasant Ucharya. Sai Balasubramanian Alapundi Venkataramanan. Kristen Elizabeth Allison. Jennifer Alexis Anderson. Jeffrey Ronald Baer. Kareem Sameh Barghouti. Gaurav Bhaskar. Grace Bouvet. Rachel J. Bro. Annie Chang. Wade D. Checketts. Lori Chen. Temanwan Chen. David Errol Childers. Mitchell R. Clayton. Kathleen Noel Conlin. Brian Mark Connors. Stephen Wesley Coffrin. Jessica Ann Crowley. Samuel Davidowitz. John Reed Dennison. John Jeffrey Dewar. Danielle Christine Dunn. Catherine Elizabeth Fletcher. Elizabeth French. Pell Tanner George. Jeffrey Mark Gattarelli. Leonardo Sebastian Gutierrez Dufo. Carolyn Marie Hardy. Zane M. Hasib. Stephen Mitchell Heath. Benjamin Kyle Heber. Ludmilla T. Heil. Maurice Marcel Hickman. Madeline George Yurtman. Timothy Scott Holland. Yu Win Hung. Andrew Janata. Rahman Ahmed Javaid. Lauren Beverly Johnson. Brian Joseph Justice. Usaid W. Khan. Janal Khatri. Elizabeth Marie Kinsey. Jennifer Manting Kwan. Michael Wallace Lamock. Jonathan David Lang. Suzette Tammy Langlois. Thomas Michael Laughlin. Carlos J. Leguizamon Zapata. Lindsay Sarah Levy. Melissa Lee. Yang Liu. Christopher Thomas Martin. Derek Logan Matheson. Matthew D. McKendrick. Philip Xavier McKinnon. Samuel Meredith Meldrum. Miles Ross Melnikoff. Whitney B. Michaels. Oscar Augusto Munoz. Robert John Murphy. Christina Un Nguyen. Nan H. Nguyen. Maxim Nurov. Deji Odawali. Gabriel Idil Omen. Swapnil Ram Padgane. Bhaskar Anuruddhu Padalapati. Andrea Rios. Miguel Rivera. Douglas Lane Rodaman. Ahmad Mohammed Samor. Diego A. Sandoval Junaman. Tom William Cito. Richard William Sexton. Stephen Joseph Simmons II. Joy Simpson. Okay. Courtney Marie Smiter. Miriam Jeanette Stevens. Thank you, sorry. Mary Margaret String. Jill Louise Subera. Stefano Sofsvilich. Christopher D. Talley. What do you say? Matthew Tate Tarduano. Amit Tomer. Michelle Amanda Torsky. Natalie Chapin Lacey Travers. Alexander Vasilio. Alexandra Earnshaw Williams. Henry Matthew Young. Michelle Yu. Matthew Robert Zedler. Yunsu Zhang. Andrew Robert Ziller. Sorry, we just...
Congratulations to the cross-continent class of 2016. Thank you. I would now like to ask Sydney Jones, Assistant Director and the Program Manager for the Weekend Executive Class of 2016, to come forward and read the names of our graduates. Again, we ask the graduates to file up on the stage to your right, and as your name is called, please accept your scroll and our congratulations.
Lily Hong Zhang. Jason Elliott Singer. Michael James Dennis. Asim Ali. Vishal Bajaj. Michael Brandon Baker. Kevin C. Bennett. Jason William McCormick Byer. Vivek Bhaskar.
Yeah,
Abhijit Butt. Robert Donald Bierman. Mark Frederick Boddicker. Christopher Lansing Brown. Rob Brown. Christopher Miller Bugg. Kevin Michael Burgess. Michael Burrows. Vikas Chunder. Harish Chavan. Jennifer Ann Courtmanche. Terry Parker DeLeon. Parthav Bunkam Desai. John Anthony Fioravanti. Sanjay Ghosh. Manuel Felipe Gonzalez Joy Pomales. Melinda Ann Hakeman. Zachary William Hodgins. James Richard Hopkins. Sharam Jamal. Joshua Charles Jenkins. Yashwant Kale. Deepak Gumpat Karawande. Russell William Kelly. Aziz Khan. Amit N. Kulkarni. Rohit Kumar. David Nam Lay. Colin K. Lee. Michael Eric Lipkin. Richard Ma. Venkata Sita Rama Rao Malapaka. Matthew Thomas McGrady. Scott Douglas Cameron Morrison. Sushil Indrapal. Marie Jose Mukamawisa. Shrikant Natarajan. Laura Ann Neal. Pratip Palaniswamy. Charmaine S. Pert Blackman. Zachary Eric Potter. Vinita Prasad. Siddharth Purohit. Ishmael G. Ramirez. Matt Reed. Satish Kumar Santanam. Hurley Andrew Schrader. Matthew Gerald Simmons. Parijat Singh. Jeffrey David Skalka. Sukhmani Kaur Sohi. Yogesh Soin. Suzanne Renee Spignacy. John Walter Stone IV. Bharat M. Subramanya. Robert Douglas Brandon Sutton. Matthew Scott Thompson. Ryan P. Tubbs. Timothy Matthew Tweeton. Shazia Umar. Julia Crystal Valenzuela. Juan Carlos Vela. Nicola Vuk. Ewan Wu.
Congratulations to the Weekend Executive Class of 2016.
Could I please ask all the graduates to rise? And for everyone, can we join in together in congratulating the Weekend and Cross-Continent Executive MBA Class of 2016. So I'm going to ask the graduates to remain standing for a few minutes. For all the friends and family in the audience, I will ask you to remain seated until all of us have processed out of Cameron Indoor Stadium. And then I look forward to joining all of you over back at the business school in the Fox Center for a continuation of this party. But before we close down the ceremony, I'd like to speak to the graduates. And essentially, this is my last chance to give you advice, and so I'm not going to miss that opportunity. The first thing is that I want to thank you. I just want to repeat my thanks. And that we will be very sad to see you go, that you have enriched our lives, and you have lived up to the standard of leadership that we expect from all of our graduates, which is to leave us in better shape than when you arrived. And we deeply appreciate what you have put into not just your own journey, but our collective journey as we try to achieve this crazy ambition of becoming the best business school in the world. So thank you for your part in that. Having thanked you, I now want to make some requests of you. And no, I'm not going to ask you for money, although I will be asking you for money repeatedly. That will be one of the joys of alumnihood that you can look forward to. A few things that I ask of you. The first one is, thank the people who got you here. You've done something that's amazing, but as you know, the amazing things that we accomplish in life, we do together. We get there because we had a team. We had a team that helped us fulfill this crazy ambition. And as you go through the rest of this day, there may be some inclination on your part to kind of soak up every moment with your classmates because you love them so much. But please, please, don't forget the people who are here to support you, who are here today, but have been here every step along the way in your personal journey. And so say thank you repeatedly, please. The second thing is that I ask you to stay connected to the Fuqua School. You now transition from the world of being a student into alumnihood. And with that new status comes certain privileges, which is your network just got exponentially bigger. You are now part of a community that is worldwide, world-renowned, and ready to support you in the journey that you're on. And so that's an incredible privilege to be a part of that broader community. You know how important it is to be a part of the community of your classmates. It gets even better as an alum. And so stay connected to us. And part of this is when you have this privilege, with privilege comes responsibility. And the responsibility you have is to give back. And you've already shown that you're willing to give back to the school with your class gift, the amazing level of support in both of your classes. But it's more than just the money in terms of giving back. It's giving back in every way to the students who will follow you, to be mentors to them, to encourage them to be a part of this community, to give them networking opportunities, to share your wisdom, your insights about how to make the most of the journey that they're on. And so please, think about this as a lifetime commitment to those who will follow you. The third thing is, and I know as soon as I say this, you'll say, no problem, we'll do that, which is stay connected to each other. You have gone through an experience which has created an incredible bond among you. You know, there's this saying that when you're facing adversity, great teams come together and bad teams fall apart. And you represent great teams. You have come together under difficult circumstances, under joyful circumstances, under every circumstance one can imagine. Don't lose what you have. And you may assume that I love these people, I will never lose touch, but the reality is all of you will be distributed around the world, and you'll say, yeah, I know, we were distributed around the world when we did these programs. No big deal. But here's the thing. There's some people who haven't gotten as much attention maybe as they wanted during the past couple of years, and you will be distracted by things like family, work. And in that process, you should give those people the full measure of your attention. But don't let the relationships you've established over the past couple of years decay. Don't let them dissipate. And they will dissipate unless you give them attention. And so don't just assume that you're going to have these great bonds that last forever. Work on maintaining those bonds. And just think, however, that you have a free place to stay and a free meal practically wherever you go in the world. So take advantage of that. The last thing that I have to ask of you is to live up to the Fuqua name, to live up to the standards. And all of the speakers made this point, that you now have an obligation to do something special as a result of having been given this gift where so many people supported you on your journey. And that obligation is to make a difference in the lives of others. By engaging in these programs, you've made an enormous difference in your own lives, and now it's time to give back to others, to make a difference, to live a life of success and significance, to be happy. And I'll give bonus points if anyone actually remembers me saying this when I welcomed you to the program. But I told you, go for happiness during this program. Not in the sense of just laughing and joking all the time, but happiness in the sense that Aristotle talked about, which is making full use of your potential along the lines of excellence. All of you have so much to give. Make sure that you give everything you've got in order to make the people around you better. And so the request is very simple. Live lives with great success and great happiness. Your success is our success. Your happiness is our happiness. And all we ask is something very simple, which is be the leaders of consequence that all of you can be. Thank you so much. With that, that brings us to the close of the actual ceremony. I'd like to repeat my thanks to all the friends and family who are here to celebrate with us. The celebration will continue. I'd like to thank the faculty and staff who've made this journey so exciting. And again, thank you to all of you for having made this such a special time in our history. Thank you so much.